My name is Akiko Roy. Thank you so much for coming so early in the morning. And first of all, I would like to first acknowledge the works of my dear friends who encouraged me to keep going and keep believing in this walk. Standing with me here is Michelle, Sue, Stacy, Susan, and Tris. And Task Supervisor Vic, without you all, with this walk would never have happened, so thank you very, very, very much. And thank you, Break the Hold, Town of Newcastle, and Newcastle United for Youth for co-sponsoring this walk. Thank you, Newcastle Police Department, Chappaqua Library, Chappaqua Central School District, Chappaqua PTA, Horace Greeley Student Government, and Greeley Sports Boosters for supporting this walk. Thank you, Town of Newcastle Merchants, for supporting this walk, by allowing us to display our poster and candles. This overwhelming coalition shows there is a huge need to come together for this purpose. This shows we have a community that cares. So allow me to talk about my son, Ishan, for a little bit. We lost him to suicide in August of 2020. It's very difficult to talk about this passing. It fills me with so much regrets and sadness. When I'm overwhelmed, I think about Ishan and remember him. It hurts, but it helps. If you ask his friends to describe Ishan, they would probably say he was very smart and very kind person, and he really was. I used to call him my encyclopedia, and I always chose the word gentle to describe him as a person. He had a very unique sense of humor which made us chuckle. He never failed to smile and wave when he was running through the town for track practices. And he was a big Swiftie. He was a good son, a good brother, and good friend. We lost someone who was really loved, and world would have been much better with him in it. With this loss, my family changed. There is a distinct before and after. Last 4 years, my family and I have put lots of work into this grief, and we are still working through it. This is truly a lifelong journey. In our life, we need to let our sadness and joy intertwine, because grief and love are conjoined. You don't get one without the other. I learned that we don't put our loved ones and their memories behind us. We are meant to carry them with us, with all the emotions that we hold for them. What I didn't know before, and I realized in my grief journey, is that each and every person goes through it differently. I think that's why it can be lonely. After much struggle to find my path, I chose to join the grief peer support group and eventually trained as its facilitator. Through this work, I met many people across all ages, races, and financial spectrum who lost their loved ones too soon. They are very generous and good people, full of love, trying to train the muscles we didn't have to carry the loved ones' memories. I firmly believe that I would not be standing here this morning talking to you if I didn't have a group of friends who sat with me, cried with me, and Mrs. Sean with me for the last 4 years. You know who you are, and I'm forever grateful for your friendship. You are my community. I was reminded by you that I don't need to go through this alone, even though this is a fundamentally lonely journey. In my grief journey, I realized there's one more thing that was crucial, in addition to finding my own support community, and that is education. I have so many things that I didn't know, I wish I knew, before losing Michelle. Mental health problem can feel very personal and be hard to understand. So the idea that there could be a distinct physical cause for difficult thoughts, feelings, and behaviors might make it feel easier to talk openly about the experience and ask for help. While there is no one-size-fits-all solution to every struggle, each of us needs to know where to turn, what to look out for, and how we start the conversation when we need to. And a range of coping mechanisms and support systems that you can choose from so that you can make it work for you. I hope you will walk away with sense of hope, feeling of community, and power of knowledge. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Richard Catanzaro. He is the chairman of psychiatry of Northern Westchester Hospital. He came all the way from New Jersey, and he is traveling tonight, and still he made the time to come and talk with us. So thank you.
And thank you, Kiko, for the introduction. My sincerest gratitude as well for sharing the story of your son, Ishan, who lost to suicide. I can think of no greater loss to a family or a community. It is a tragedy whose pain never completely goes away. It is for this lasting pain and the urgency to prevent further tragedies that we are here today, this morning, very early. Last year, over 20% of high school students nationwide seriously considered suicide. In 2021, about 10% of high school students made some attempt at suicide. And make no mistake about it, the consequences are more than anecdotal. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for teens and young adults. And though I could spend the rest of this short talk scaring us all with numbers, remember that one suicide, one death of a loved one, is one tremendous loss too many. We are here, though, because you are already aware. You are the proverbial choir. So, what shall I preach to you? I hope the takeaway here is hope. If by our collective and individual efforts we can prevent one suicide from happening, then we have succeeded. What can we do? What practically can we do? So, most importantly, be aware of potential warning signs, including verbal cues, talking about wanting to die or to kill oneself, expressing feelings of hopelessness, or stating that they feel like a burden to others. Behavioral changes, increased use of drugs or alcohol, withdrawing from friends, changes in sleeping and eating habits, or engaging in risky or self-destructive behavior. Mood swings, exhibiting extreme mood swings, rage, sadness, or sudden happiness after a period of depression, which can sometimes indicate that a person has already decided to end their life. Once we have noticed worrisome signs, then we must do something. Inaction or ambivalence over doing something is common. We must do our best to push past our discomfort surrounding action. What are some concrete things we can do? Be present. If you notice someone is showing signs of distress, reach out to them. Offer a listening ear without judgment. Sometimes just knowing someone cares can make a huge difference. Ask directly. This can be daunting, but ask someone directly if they are thinking about suicide. Asking someone if they are thinking about suicide can provide relief and open the door to discussion about seeking help. Asking the question does not increase the risk of suicide. I cannot stress that enough, but rather shows the person that you care. Encourage professional help. Guide the person to seek professional help from a mental health provider. Particularly for teens, you should always seek out a trusted adult. Do not keep a secret that is potentially deadly. Follow up. Stay in touch. Follow up with the person regularly. Continuous support can help them feel connected and valued. Immediate steps to take if you believe someone is in crisis would be removing means of self-harm, locking up medications, getting rid of firearms. I can't stress that enough as well. Staying with the person and then calling emergency services. As you know, I am a member of the hospital staff here at Northern Westchester, where I have worked as the chair of psychiatry going into my 10th year. Logically, you may ask, well, what are we doing as a hospital and as part of a much larger hospital system in the effort to treat mental illness and reduce the risk of suicide? For many years, I have not been able to say very much on this topic, save for our work inside the walls of the hospital and our periodic community outreach. Fortunately, this year, we have expanded our vision on mental health care at Northern Westchester, and following the model already pioneered at Northwell on Long Island, we are launching a bold plan to bring outpatient treatment to our area. Specifically, Northern Westchester Hospital has started a campaign to create a freestanding psychiatric urgent care center for the assessment and treatment of children and adolescents. The goal will be to make high-quality mental health care both accessible and affordable. Along with psychiatric urgent care, we are looking to create intensive outpatient services to keep kids from needing hospitalization and reintegrating kids post-hospitalization. In addition, in conjunction with our partners in child and adolescent psychiatry at Northwell, we are developing more programming to provide schools the resources they need to help identify students in need and connect them with assistance before a crisis arises. These are not some ideas being tossed around at work. This is happening. This is happening here in our community. So stay tuned. Together, we will make a difference. Hopefully today, on this very early morning, we have already started to make a difference. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm your town supervisor, and I am so incredibly moved and grateful to the amazing, wonderful people who put this together. I know a lot of people were involved, but I want to thank in particular Akiko Roy and Susan Jolinas, Beatrice Halleck, Sue McShane, Stacy Science, Michelle Shermanshaw. Back in February of this year, I got a call from Akiko, who described her history and the Break the Hold walk in Pleasantville and how it originated and developed and how meaningful it would be to so many people here, which was so amply obvious to me. And when I heard about this, it was the fastest yes that I had ever said to anything. As your town supervisor, bringing people together to bring a strong community is really one of the most important things that I can do for this town. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And today we have said we are going far together. Here in Newcastle, we are taking a stand in support of mental health. And to all of those who are struggling, we say we are here and we care. So today is not just an event, it's our pledge. And it's our pledge to foster a healthy and supportive community. We live in an increasingly divided society and in a digital age. And social media can connect us instantly, but it can also amplify a divide and negativity. And it can obscure the good in favor of the bad. It can weaken our bonds and makes it harder to see and feel the support and unity that actually exists and is strong among us. History and social science have long established that social connections and strong bonds is necessary for our evolution and our existence. And as we gather here today, we embody the sense of solidarity that is crucial for collective well-being. Strong communities allow people to thrive, and the bonds we create are crucial to our well-being. So our mission is clear, and we must reclaim our social spaces and come together in solidarity to protect our most vulnerable individuals. And this means being willing to take the time to listen to each other, to learn and become educated on critical issues. So let's make this more than a day. Let's find ways to keep the flame alive and maintain a network of mutual support and understanding and compassion. We're proud to have introduced this event, knowing that it marks the beginning of many more initiatives that will strengthen our bonds and promote mental health awareness. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for your commitment to making the town of Newcastle a beacon of hope and solidarity.
Prepared resource guides for all of us to take with us. Thank you, Dr. Panzar, for coming, as Akiko says, from far and early and making the long day even longer. We're deeply grateful that you could join us and share your expertise and your vision for our community in the future, how we can support each other and hope for each other and for ourselves. Akiko, thank you for bravely leading this entire effort here and speaking today. Nothing and no words could get close to describe and convey Ishan's warmth, his brilliance, and his kindness. But your words let us get a glimpse into one life that we lost so very, very much too soon. Our heart breaks with you and anyone else who's lost. In helping Akiko realize our vision for today, there are too many people for us to mention everybody by name. But please know how deeply grateful and how much we appreciate that everything you've done. And of course, the final thank you goes to all of you, as Vicky said. You kicked off your covers this morning, and you joined us to walk by supporting Break the Hold and the mission where we are raising awareness and we're helping to fund mental health education for schools in our area. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. We hope you enjoy your Sunday. It feels like saying goodbye and good night, but it's goodbye and good morning. Thank you so much.